everybody? Average Gamer here. So today we're going to be talking about a few things, mainly money. Money when it comes to MechWarrior, spending it, where technically there should be pay limits. We'll nickname them paywalls, I guess. So, kinda. One of the things I will be using as an example of everything I'm thinking of right now is World of Tanks, Armored Warfare, and War Thunder being the three main games, kind of like, obviously, MechWarrior Online here. So, the first thing, all the games, MechWarrior included, limit you to the amount of hangars or / slots where you can have your robots and mechs at the beginning. The other games, War Thunder, World of Tanks, and Armored Warfare, give you a limit to the amount you can purchase for free. So meaning that if I was here, if you go to store, go to Mechbay, the Mechbays would actually be for C-bills, up until a certain amount. There is a set limit to the amount you can buy. Like you can buy, I think it's it's usually about 8 to 10, I believe, on average between the three of them. And then after that, you hit the chart. You have to pay premium, the premium currency or gold or whatever it is, to then get additional additional hangers and things like that. Now the difference between MechWarrior Online and those three is those three games there, you don't need multiple things. Like you don't need multiple Leopard 2s or multiple Abrams tanks or multiple Sherman tanks or Tiger tanks to upgrade them, to quote unquote level them out. You just need just the one, and that's it. So you don't have to worry about this, multi thing to get them unlocked. So with that in mind, this is my idea about the Mechbays. You should only have to buy one Mechbay per chassis. So for example, if we go chassis here, and we'll bring up our lights just to kind of cut down. Actually, no, we'll go to all. So right now I've got, when we look at all the different chassis, I've got way too many. 3, 6, 9, 12, etc. I get the fuck up. So, theoretically, you get one Mechbay per chassis. So I can have unlimited amount of Atlases, probably 3, under the Atlas name. And that would be one Mechbay. Now, if they limited us to, say, 10, that would give you 10 mechs to master, to elite, to level up. And you'd have 3 per or more, like say limited to, say, 5 variants per Mechbay. And you get the first 10 for free. So you get the first literally 10 robots for free. And you can play them, no problem. You can level them up, no problem. And boom, there you go. You get your free, you got your thing. There's no paywall technically, because you can play at least 10 different mechs. So that's literally what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, you want limited to 8. 8 mechs. The reason why is because you can play at least one clan and one inner sphere for each. So boom, 8, right? And start every player off with 2 lights, 1 clan light and 1 inner sphere light. Don't worry about this trial. You don't worry too much about this trial shit. I mean, I can understand why they're giving us, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 trial mechs, because it's 4 mechs for each chassis, 2 for inner sphere, 2 for clan. What they can do, to be honest with you, I mean, we have the trial mechs, right? So yeah, okay, you don't have to have one if you don't want to, but give us 5 Mechbays. Each one of those Mechbays counts towards a chassis. Then, if you decide at that point, if you actually want to spend money and have additional Mechbays, each Mechbay goes towards 1 chassis, and that Mechbay holds 5 variants of said chassis. There you go. Now you charge X amount of dollars or X amount of MC for said for said Mechbay. And every now and then you have, like, a special Mechbay. One Mechbay can hold 10 variants of 1 chassis, or whatever. Have it so that if you want, hero mechs, for example, they come with their own special Mechbays. So, if you need a hero, yeah, you spend $20 on a hero mech, but you get the hero Mechbay, which can hold 5 heroes, for example. So you can knock down the price of heroes by a little bit right there, because one Mechbay can hold 5 heroes. So it's 20 for the first one, and everyone after that's like $15, or less, preferably. But it's an idea. Now the other thing is conversion of experience to general experience. Now, all the other games have this where each tank and each mech can create XP on its own, on itself, to better so you become more proficient or efficient in said vehicle. Now, once you play certain tanks in the other games and you max them out, their XP automatically defers to the overall pool of general XP, or research points in some cases. So, for example, we'll use this in MechWarrior terms. I play my crab here. I max out my crab. I play my crab. All the XP I get after that, so the overall XP, you usually get, a couple thousand each round, that would then go into my GXP pool. But instead of me getting, say, the full 2,000, which makes sense, because what's the point of you needing it, it gives me some sort of, not a penalty, but like okay, well, your XP's full, so your XP is going to be converted on a 10 to 1 scale. So for every 1 XP, I get 10 GXP, or I get, so for every 1 you get 10. So if you get 2,000 XP, right, you get 200 GXP, which isn't too bad, because you've already maxed it out. So now you're going to be using that on like unlocking modules and things like that. Now, that's not so bad, because if you have a lot of mechs like I do that are already skilled out all the way, like my awesomes, for example, I have one of them that has over 300,000 XP on it. What the fuck am I going to do with that? It's actually going to cost me like $30-40 to change all that XP over to GXP if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that. That's just no. Like that's stupid. I wouldn't. It's a waste of money. It's literally a waste of money. Now, one thing I will say is the way the other games instigate it or incorporate it is they also, like, they have obviously just that one tank, right? That one tank, but it's one tank specifically of also every level, right? Because they do levels or tiers 1 to 10 of tanks and artillery and armored personnel carriers, etc., 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 airplanes, you name it, where there's at least one tank in each tier that has these special abilities to do these things, where your XP goes into your overall pool and things like that, where the other ones don't. Now, what MechWarrior Online can do in this case is take like a primary variant of each chassis that you have, or you tell the game, or it'll tell you, okay, the following variant A, we'll say, or would I want to say prime, because this is the easiest. Variant prime. So for the clans, for example, or even, fucking Inner Sphere, the main variant, that one is the only one that automatically, after you max it out, will convert to automatic GXP, which isn't too bad, right? So the primary mech, it as the primary, because it'll say, hey, just so you know, when you go to play it for the first time, when you go to buy it, it'll say, hey, just so you know, this is the primary variant or the primary version of this chassis. Once you've done scaling it up, leveling it up and all that stuff, all XP will be converted on a 1 to 10 scale to GXP, and there you go. So now you can be like, okay, I've now maxed out my crabs, and I'm running around with my my resistance variant 5 medium pulse crab and getting 800, 900 damage in a match, and converting all that XP into the GXP automatically for me. I don't have to spend money on it. There you go. Now, the other thing is modules. Now, I will say this, with the newest patch, they have increased the amount of money you make, but I will admit that modules, initially when they came out, were supposed to give you that edge. They were supposed to give you that little bit of each mech was supposed to have that just that little oomph, right? Like putting a medium pulse modules on a Hunchback 4PC with cooldown and range gave you that extra, oh shit, here it comes. And you get medium pulse people from further away. Your medium pulse refreshes fast, or cools down faster, and it becomes that mech's like super evil. Now, with the with the addition of quirks, modules are almost completely useless. Or completely overpowering, depending on what situation you're in. Like, for example, why? Oh, these are only trials. We're gonna go owned. So my Hunchback, my Crab 27 here. Right now, okay, the quirks I have for this are medium laser range. Is increased, which we're not too worried about, and energy range, but energy range is increased by 7.5%. Wait, medium laser range? Did they change the quirks on this guy? I'm pretty sure that was medium pulse quirks on this guy. Either way, so right now we know we have an additional range of 7.5%. For these medium pulse. Now, once I throw on the medium... Actually, well, let's pick a better one, for fuck's sakes. Energy generation. Pulse laser range. There we go. Large laser cooldown and all that stuff. So, we'll look at this one. We have large laser cooldown and energy cooldowns. Right now, it's sitting at 15% cooldown for generic energy. What we could technically do is, and this is the part that kind of gets a little kind of screwed up, I can throw on yet another large laser cooldown module to increase that even more, and then a range module on top of that. And depending on if I can unlock a third one, I could probably throw on a third module there that will give me just that extra oomph. So initially, the modules were there as the quirk, right? You were basically buying the quirks. That's why I can understand why they're expensive and why you have to unlock them as you do and all those things. But now with the quirks, they're redundant. They're useless. One of the guys I play with the most, Baron, he's even mentioned himself. There's like almost no point in buying the majority of the modules now, because they make such a small impact now that it's no big deal. But when back in the day, when you had them, if you had all your modules on the guy that you wanted and it was all set up right, it actually could make a difference. Now, with the newest pass on the newest balancing servers and things like that, there is talk about removing quirks altogether. But they're also going to be changing the way the mechs are too, right? So, what I would like to see them do when it comes to the modules is tweak on them a little bit more. Make them so that they make more of a difference associated with how much they cost. Meaning that if it gives me a 10% or 15% cooldown, yeah, okay, I can understand why it would be 3 million. But if I only have it, say, on level 1, where it only does a 5% damage, why does it still cost 3 million? My theory is that the cost should be associated with what it does, not so much just a flat rate. That's my big thing when it comes to the modules. Like I said, with quirks nowadays, they're pretty much useless. I mean, the ones I use the most are advanced zoom and weapon cooldown, if I even use them, depending on the quirks. I look at it like, well, why put a weapon cooldown on this if I can already throw on, something else, because this mech already has cooldown. So yeah. Plus, I mean, $3 million on a module is a kind of pain in the ass. But yeah, so that's my little rant on XP modules and all that stuff. As I said, just to kind of summarize it again, I would like to see them do one Mechbay per chassis, and then the variants. You limit the variants, say 5. Variants per chassis. I know I probably would have a problem with that myself, because as you can see, I'd max out my Centurions and my Enforcers already. So I mean, it'd be good if it said 5/5 or crab 4/5. So it tells you, hey, you have one Mechbay for these that covers this variant and 5 versions of this variant, which would be good. It'd be fun, right? It's an idea. I mean, if they did that, they'd probably have to give a lot of people money, or in my case, I'd have to have 103 different chassis to play with, which, to be honest with you, 103 different types of robots. That's a lot. That's already more chassis in this game than there are tanks and World of Tanks. It's kind of insane, actually. I have to admit, I'm impressed with the amount of the selection, we'll say, in comparison to their games. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, etc., etc., etc. Sorry about the lack of videos over the last little bit. I'm back to work again, so my videos may go down a little bit. My quality of videos may go down a little bit as I get back into the groove of having to be up at 7:30 or having to be up at 5 a.m. every day to be at work for 7:30. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield next time. Bye bye.